So once again, welcome to the class. Welcome to tonight's class. So tonight we'll be looking at lists and tuples in Python. So we'll start with lists. So Python data structure. List. List is a sequence of values of any type. Values in lists are called as elements or items. A list within another list is nested. Lists are mutable. That means you can change the elements. It has variable length. Lists are accessible. Lists are accessed similarly like arrays. First element will be stored at O index. Let's discuss function used in lists. So tuples. Tuples are similar like lists, having a sequence of values of any type and enclosed with parentheses. Tuples are immutable. That means you cannot change its value. It has fixed length. So let's discuss about tuples. Lists and tuples. Items surrounded with, for lists, items are surrounded in square brackets, while tuples, items are surrounded in round brackets. Lists are mutable in nature, which means you can change its values, while tuples are immutable in nature. There are more than 40 available methods in lists. There are almost 30 to 35 available methods in tuples. If content is not fixed and keep on changing, then we go for this list. So in list, if you are looking at content that you know that you are not going to, that is not fixed, you will be changing them, so you use list. But in tuple, if content is fixed and never changes, then we go for tuples. For content that is like fixed, you don't change them, you go for tuples. List objects cannot be used as key for dictionary because keys should be hash table and immutable. Tuples object can be used as keys for dictionary because keys should be hash table and immutable. When we get to dictionary, you will understand that one better. So let's go to Python. Already have my Python ready. So I'm opening a new file. So I'm going to open a PDF I will use to walk you people through. Like I did, I will share the PDF. So we start with lists. Okay, let's learn Python list together very slow and gently. So we are going to look at it very slow. I will take my time to explain it. In fact, this PDF explains it as if it's trying to explain to a kid. The other one you look at was a bit should I say a bit professional, let me put it that way. So imagine you are going to market with empty bag that contains that empty bag equals to an empty list in Python. You say my bag equals to, you have square bracket, this is an empty list. Now let's put some things inside the bag one by one. You say my bag equals to yam, rice, tomato, onions. This is a list. A list is like a shopping bag that can hold many items in order. Just like you have a bag, you now put tomato, rice, onions. So that bag you are holding is known as a list. Important things to remember: what we call it list, then this is called list. Then yam rice is known as list. Then we say example yam rice, that is the whole bag. Then we have element slash item. So anything that is inside list, like the yam, the rice, the tomato and onions, we call them elements or you call them items. So those things inside the bag is known as elements or items. So one thing inside the bag. So index. Now we have yam, rice, tomato, onions. Now if I want to count it, how many things do we have inside this bag? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 elements or 4 items inside the bag, inside the list. The bag is the list. So now if you want to count this, if I'm telling you, okay, according to this list, what is the number 3 items in this bag? You will say tomato, right? Tomatoes, if we are using our normal way of counting. But here we start with 0 index. That's what I was trying to explain. I read something like that earlier. 0 index. So we don't count 1, 2, 3, 4. We count 0, 1, 2, 3. So these tomatoes is number 2, not 3. If you are counting, we start with 0. So that is it. Length. You want to know the length of the list. You say length equals to the name of the list. So we now know how many items are in that list. So let's do something quickly. Okay, let's do what we have here. Okay. So we have something like my bag. Equals to square brackets. Oops. We have yam, comma. What and what did we have there? Okay, let me put my own yam, rice. We have onions. Since they are string, you put them inside quote, double quote. At least by now you should know this. Then we have what again? Okay, here is supposed to be tomatoes. Then we have onions. Then you close it. So I've done that. So let me go back. Let's check the length. So we have 4, meaning that we have 4 items inside this list. We have 4 items. You can even check the type of the type. So like we did when we were learning variables, it will tell you, you see, it's telling us that it's list. So this my bag is still considered as a variable that we learned earlier. Then we have string, integer, all those things. So but this one now, this my back here is a list. So just your idea of the variables, you should understand what is going on. So now So I'll proceed. So let's see it with numbers too. So we can have numbers like what I have here. I can just copy this. So if I type, in as much as we have numbers there, it will still show what list. You can see we have list, because you can see when we have numbers there is nothing like double quotes. So now create list friends equals to. So what I did earlier is just how to create a list. Like now, friends equals to square bracket Chidi, Ada, Emeka. Also note that you can still put numbers. I can put 100. You can mix them. It accepts it. So if I check type of friends, it's still a list. You see, it accepts both string and integer and even float. You can mix them. So if I print length my friend, so I've already done that one. You want to check the length of the list, you use length. You can use this print. I think I explained this earlier in this class. You want to use this, so I explain it. You can say length, then into bracket the name of the list. You can still use print into bracket length into bracket name of the list. It's still the same thing, but this is the right way to do it. But the way I'm doing it is just like shortcut, like a pro level. So another one now is this: see one particular friend. Let's go back. Let's say I want to see. Okay, let me copy this, put it here. So let me remove this. Okay, let's say I want to see Chidi. What will I do? I will say friends. Then I'll now say 0. So this will give me Chidi. So if I want to check Emeka, what will I do? I will put 2 because I'm counting 0, 1, 2. So this one should show Emeka. So that is how to access elements inside list. So I've done this. So now last person, 2 particular ways. So I can still do it this way. Let me copy this. I can still do it this way. If I say -1, what would this give me? Emeka. Because if you are counting from the right, we are using -1, -2, -3. If I use -2, there's nothing like Ada. If I use -3, it's going to give me Chidi. So if you are counting from the right, -1, -2, -3. If you are counting from the left, 0, 1, 2. So now changing items in list, very important. So let's look at how we can change items in list. let's say I have a list like this. Colors. So now I want to change. They are saying that I should change blue to yellow. You now say colors. This is the importance of so this is the importance of what we learned earlier, how to access items in list. That is the importance of accessing items in list. So if I say color, then I now say I want to change blue to yellow, right? Blue is what? Blue is 1. If I'm counting from the left, blue is 1. Then equals to what? Now say yellow. If I run this, then if I print color, what am I having? I have red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, green, no longer red, blue, green. It's no longer red, blue, green. So if I put here 2, then I will now change this green to maroon. So if I run this, if I say print colors, I'm having red, yellow, maroon. So that is how you can change items in list. They say that list is mutable in nature, meaning that you can change items just like what I've just done here. You can do that. Then we proceed adding new items to list. So we can add new items to list. For example, we have this. Let's create this list. We have this. So how to add item? We want to add orange to this list. We will say fruit.append then orange. So I will just copy this. Okay, let me type it out. Fruits.append so now if I print what do I have? I have apple, banana, orange. Before we add, if I print this, let me run this. If I print, I've run this now, I've not added the orange. So if I run this, I have apple and banana. But once I have this, now I've added I will run this, I've added the orange now. So if I print the fruit again, I now have apple, banana, orange. So another way is add many items at once. You use extend. If I say fruit.extend, then I now put mango, banana. So so if I do this, fruit.extends into bracket, then square bracket because it's list. You now put this. If I print fruits. What will I have? Fruit dot extend. Oh, okay. I don't actually know why it's not printing, but we are supposed to add this to what we have. Something is wrong. I think something is wrong here. Okay, so now we have apple, banana, orange, mango, pineapple. The last one I added mango and pineapple. So before we had apple, banana, orange. So now we have apple, banana, orange. I think I printed this double multiple times, so that's why we having repetition of it. You can see now it's just like repeating it. So what I will do now, let me delete this. I think it will still show. So just like putting them, repeating them. The more I so let me delete this. Okay, let me so this is just like adding. I've done this multiple times, so I don't want to scatter the whole thing. So just before we add apple, banana, orange, so when you now add this, it will now be apple, banana, mango and pineapple. Just that I've printed it many times, so that's why it's adding all these ones. So that is how to add multiple things. So what again? Insert a specific position. So now you can try this out on your own. So now this is just like saying that we have apple, banana, orange, mango, pineapple, but now you just want to insert the pawpaw at the number 2 position, because if you use the other way that we use, it will always insert them after what has already been added. But if you want to choose a position, you can use this. When you practice, you can try that out on your own. So now taking items out of list. So let's create a list with this. So to take item out of a list, you say we have a list known as line. We have Ada, Chidi, Emeka. So to take item out, we say line dot remove Emeka. If I say line dot remove Emeka, so let's try that. line dot remove into brackets a maker. Okay, before I do that, let's print this. Let me print line. What do I have? I have Ada, Chidi, Emeka. So if I print this, if I now print line, what will I have? I have Ada, Chidi, Fatima, Bola, no more Emeka. So that is how to remove. By this, I'm being specific. So we have another one we call pop. If I say let me do something. So if I say line dot pop, what pop means is that pop is removing the last person. It removed Bola, so now I've printed it, we no longer have Bola. So if you use remove, line dot remove, you are being specific. You are being specific. I want you to remove Fatima, Chidi or Ada. But if you use pop, pop will remove the last person. So it depends on how you want to do it. You might use remove or use pop. So anyone that is convenient for you. Okay. So that is it about list. That is it about. Those are the what you really need to know about lists. I will give you this PDF. You go through them. You practice. And I have questions here, which you are going to check out. So that is it about lists. So let me touch this one. Concat. You should know what concat is by now. To add something. I have list. This is the first list. This is the second list. And now say new list equals to this plus this. So what is the length of the new list? Is 8 because I have 4 items here, 4 items here. That is 8. Then what is new list? New list is me adding this one and this one. So concats. That's another thing I wanted to show you guys. So if you have any question, please ask before we now move to Tuple. If you have any question, you can ask. So if you have any question, you can ask now. We've done list. All these things we are doing will be very, very important when we start using the Python libraries. So everything you are learning now is just like preparing you to make use of, because you need lists, you need tuples, you need dictionary, you play around with them as you'll be using Python. any level you are using Python to, you will deal with all these things. So it's as simple as that. Do you have any question before we move to tuples? Okay, in the absence of question, I'll move to tuples. You have the videos, you go through it. If there's any question you have, after you have tried to do it on your own, then you can now ask in the general group. Then we will attend to it together. Okay, let's move. We are done with list. Let's move to tuple. We have tuple. What is tuple? A tuple is an order collection of items in Python that is immutable, meaning once it is created, its content cannot be changed. Tuples use parentheses. They can hold numbers, strings, boolean, and even tuples. So, example, tuples of fruits. Have fruits. So now, list we use square bracket, while in tuples we use round bracket, or you call it parentheses. So tuple, we have number equals to, you can mix it just like you can put numbers and integers, strings, floats, all those things. So accessing items in tuples, just like we did with lists, it's still the same thing. With your understanding of lists, tuples is not, shouldn't be. So let's do this. So we have something like this. So this is a tuple. This is a tuple. If we check type of fruits, you can see tuple. So list we use square bracket, tuple we use round bracket. So just like what we did with, if we say fruits, if we say fruits, okay, let's take it one by one first. We are coming to that one. And this is tuple. So numbers is still the same. I already have something like numbers, so let me use this. And I already have something like fruits, so let me use this. So it's a tuple. If I say type of new numbers, so that is still a tuple. So let's go through it one by one. What again? You can mix items, you can mix things just like we did. I can put things, so this is a tuple. If I say type of mix, so it's a tuple. So accessing items in tuples. How to access items in tuples? Each item in tuple has an index starting from 0. So just like we did, if I say new we have apple. So you can see, like I said, we have 1, 2, 3. But if we want to access the apple, we start counting with 0. So this 0 means apple. If I put 2 here, what would that be? That will give me mango. So that's how we do it. Just similar to list. So you can see use a minus. If you are counting from the right, you use minus. Immutability. Like I said, tuple is immutable in nature. Tuple is immutable in nature. What do I mean by that? If I have new fruits, then I have something like, let me check something. Okay, let's say we want to change the, okay, let's say we want to change this banana to grapes. So if we say 1, this means what this means is that change banana to, if you look at 0, 1, so change it to grapes. So if I run this now, it's giving me an error. Tuples object does not support item assignment. It means that you can't change, it's immutable in nature. You can't change any item in tuple. Like we did in list, we change it, we can remove, we can play around with, change it. Like when we change yellow to blue, blue to yellow, and green to maroon in list, you can't do that in tuples. So anything you are putting in tuple, you cannot change it. So if you are working with items, elements, and things you don't want people to change, to alter, you use tuples. But with something that you want people to alter, you use list. So tuple operation, to count items, just like we did the length of new fruits, it will give you the number of the items. To find position, so that is just it. So tuples and lists, they are similar, just similar. You get this PDF and you go. So tuple versus list. Feature, mutable. List is mutable, yes. Tuple, no. Add slash remove items. Yes. Can you do it tuple? No. Syntax. This is a syntax of syntax. So this is what we use for list. We use square bracket for list and round bracket for tuple. Performance. List is slower while tuple is faster. Use case. When items may change. When items you use list when items may change. You use tuple when items must remain constant. So also we have nested. I've done this nested. Single item tuple. So let me explain this. Okay, let me copy the whole of this and post. Let me explain this. So one fruit, if I have something like this is correct, this is not correct, this is just a string, so even if you want to add one object in a tuple, you have to end it with comma. Okay, let's check something. So if I run this, so if I look at the type of this, what is this? This is just a string. But if I look at type, this is tuple and this is list. If I look at the type, so this is list. So even if you are putting one object, you have to add the comma. That is when, but if you leave it like this, it's just a string. So we have nested tuples. Same thing with list. Okay, let me copy this. So if we have this, so this is we having tuple inside tuple. If I check the type, tuple. So now if I want to look at the length, what is the length of this? This is 3. In as much as we have 1, 2, this one is another tuple. So we consider that this is one element. The whole of this is one element. So now if I look at length of nested, it's showing 3. It's not 4. This is one element. The whole of this is one element. I might add another tuple again. It's still one element. So the same thing can happen with list rather. I can change this to square bracket. I can change this to so if I look at the type, so this is list. If I look at the length, it's 3. So you can have list inside list, tuples inside tuple. So that is just it. Why use tuples? Immutability, protect data from accidental changes. Performance, tuples are faster than lists for read-only operations. Clarity, indicates that the collection of items should not change. So if you are working with a fellow Python developer and when you see where that guy is using tuples, it means that the items in there are not supposed to be changed. So for clarity's sake, so if I tell you are employed to a company and you are asked to access the code base, I notice that the former developer using tuples for that particular items, it means that maybe in that company those items are fixed, they are not to be changed. So the one that the developer use list, changes can be made. So for clarity purpose, also protect accidental changes. So tuple, order immutable collection of items, list, order mutable collection of items. So that is just it between tuple and list. So on your own, I'll share this file, you go through it, and you can also browse about it. So any question? Any question? Okay, we have 5 minutes to go. So that is it about tuple and list. Okay, so we are done with today's class, which is tuple and list in Python. Tuple and list in Python.